Welcome to the upper room. Despite some of the pictures that you might have seen in the past, the upper room would have been a room that was actually open air on top of a building. And it would have just had some columns and a small roof, thatch roof on the top. And in the evening, normally what they would do is they would actually hang cloths down as a way of shielding the room. And then they would take them away come morning. And that's why later during Acts, when the apostles are in the upper room, everyone in the marketplace can hear them when they're talking, because there are no cloths hanging. So you see here we have the cloths hanging, and then the fishing nets, which are the trays of some of the disciples of Jesus. And before you are the lamps that they would have used. The lamps would have been filled with an oil and lit and provided the light for them. And it was their only source of light at the time. And they would have actually been reclining, but I know some of you would not take too well to reclining at the table. And before them would have been a feast. A feast, what you need to imagine, would have been like Thanksgiving feast. And the Seder meal easily took 3 hours to go through the liturgy, but to do all the eating. And the piece that we think of now for the Seder was actually just a small part of the liturgy in between while they ate the great meal. And it was during that time, then after they had eaten the meal, and after Judas had left, and this chair and draped in black is for Judas, and the chair draped in white is for Jesus. And after he left, Jesus took, and you can imagine everyone being fully sedated with all the food, but he took some bread, and it would have been like this because it was made without yeast, and he broke it, and he gave thanks to God. And the blessing he would have used was the blessing out of the Mishnah, where he would have said, "Blessed are you, Lord, ruler of the universe, who brings forth the grain from the ground." And then he gave it to his disciples, and you have pieces before you. And he said new words to them, a new covenant, where he said, "Take, eat. This is my body broken for you. Do this in remembrance of me." And then he took the cup, and he gave thanks to God for it. And he would have also used a typical Mishnah prayer, a blessing over the wine, where he said, "Thank you, God, ruler of the universe, who brings forth the fruit of the vine." And then he gave it to his disciples, and he said, "Take, drink. This is my blood poured out for you and for many for the forgiveness of sins. Do this in remembrance of me." We're told afterwards then what they did was the disciples left and they sang hymns. And in the Passover, it was typical to sing Psalm 113 through Psalm 116. I'm not going to ask any of you to sing a cappella, although I know some of you can. But the whole purpose of the Psalms was that they could reflect. They could reflect on their deliverance from bondage that they had experienced in Egypt. Tonight, as you leave the upper room, I ask that each of you reflect on your deliverance from the bondage of sin.